Me gusta tocar guitarra, me gusta cantar el son. Un mariachi me acompaña cuando canto mi canción.
The melody of a lone mariachi rings out on the corner of one of Mexico's city's many local markets. Handmade products line the street, showcasing the country's rich native cultures. But many of the indigenous people who make them are struggling to survive.
There is no work, no jobs in the villages where we come from. That's why we moved to the city.
Many speak little Spanish, including this woman from the Otomi community, who says she can barely afford to feed herself.
I am in need of everything, but most of all, I need to eat.
Endemic poverty and neglect are the main reasons why this government building has been occupied by indigenous activists for more than 3 years. Once a place to bring petitions, it's now a hive of resistance, which has discarded a bureaucracy seen as ineffective and even indifferent.
The government doesn't even look at us. They don't take us into account.
These are the leaders, advocating on not only behalf of the Otomi community, but dozens of other indigenous groups across the country.
This is the fight. It's a cause for our people who want housing. This government doesn't care about education, work, health for our communities.
They say their interests are absent in this national election, and their dealings with the government have amounted to mere political theater.
This election is the same nonsense. Politicians promise a lot of things. They take pictures with us. They put them online. They claim to be in solidarity with indigenous communities, but it's not true. They just want to take advantage of us, to take our lands, to take what belongs to us.
An estimated 4,000 people are camped out in front of the presidential palace. Most of them are indigenous, advocating for better government services, including education. Encampments here in Zocalo, Mexico City's main square, are calling for real political inclusion for Native peoples. Indigenous leaders we've spoken with say they're not calling for a boycott of this year's election, but they also say they're not planning to vote because the political system as a whole doesn't represent their communities, no matter which party wins. Protesters plan to continue their sleep-in demonstration right up to the June 2nd vote.
The next administration should pay more attention to education to the indigenous communities so our youth can have a better future.
Sharing a space that represents all Mexicans and calling on their government to do the same. Randolph, Nogel, TRT World, Mexico City.